My name is April, and I've been in the after-school field for almost 20 years, but I started a brand new after-school program here at Julia Lee Performing Arts Academy 3 years ago. And we are a charter school, which means we're public school, but a school of choice. So we have all kinds of different students that may not live right next to us that choose to come to our school. So we have a wide variety of students here and some unique opportunities of being charter. And funny enough, I go to after school conferences and Boost and everything, and I'm sure that MBA Math Hoops was there, and I never noticed them when I was there, until after I started doing it, which is so funny to me. But I think the reason that I didn't notice was because our school, we're performing arts, and so the school hasn't really developed out any playgrounds or basketball hoops or anything like that. And so I probably walked right by your booths thinking, I can't do that, and just kept going. So it wasn't until I was searching for lessons on Mizzen on the website that I found Learn Fresh and MBA Math Hoops. And I was like, oh, that's exciting. And then I did all the trainings and found you that way, just to come to find out that you've been at all of the conferences that I was at, and I didn't notice.
That's awesome. I'm sure our friends in Mizzen will be pumped to hear that you found us that way. So that's great.
We really, I'm a kind of go big or go home kind of girl. So
you have no idea.
Mr. Garcia's worked with me for a lot of years. And when we were in the mainstream public setting, I couldn't do as much. And so we came to charter school, and I was already passionate about invention education. And I said, well, hey, can we do that here? And the founder, Tanya, she didn't really know what it was, but she was like, have fun, go ahead. And then it turned out, we did really well with it, and we ended up on a national stage. So we take the kids to Michigan to Invention Convention. And last year we placed first and second in the nation. This year we didn't do quite as well, but we still made it to the national stage again. So she was just like in awe that we did all of that. And so field trips have taken on a whole new meaning because I'm going to Michigan, and now our students are cup stacking, and we're going to the Junior Olympics in Texas, and then MBA Math Hoops, and we're going to New York. So field trips have taken on a whole new meaning, and it's so exciting because I know that in our population, kids get stuck and they think, I'm in Lake Elsinore and I can't get out of Lake Elsinore. I can't go anywhere else. We're in a lower income area, and they just don't see behind our city lines. So the fact that we're taking kids to New York and Michigan and Texas, and we're getting out there and seeing things, even just going to LA, our kids and their families were so excited that parents took the day off to drive their kids there, because we don't have access to busing the way a public school does. So it was a whole day event. They got to get out of school early, go to LA. We went out to lunch, and then we went to the Clippers Stadium. So just helping them to see that there is life beyond our city is so amazing to have those opportunities. Let Mr. Garcia talk first, because I got a lot for you, but I'll let him start first because he's with them more intimately in the large group setting. I get them after they're down to the top few.
With teaching math hoops with the students, one of my favorite things that I've noticed within the learning space is that they're not only working together, but they figure out different ways to answer the questions, or even sometimes they'll just think outside the box. But I think the teamwork aspect has been the most important to see. They are working together, and I love it when they start supporting each other. Like, oh, no, that's not the right answer. Like, really quick, and they'll tell them like, think about it, and they look over it and they're like, okay, and they fix their answers. And it's just the sportsmanship and the teamwork with it, just I think is the best thing that has come from this, and I absolutely love it.
Awesome.
I think on a admin side of that, because I am on the admin team of the school, and test scores are important, and we're trying to raise our test scores. And so how does this impact that? How does this help us get there? And I talked to a couple of our kids, because we actually do have them here in summer program. And so I told two of them that I might call them in to say hi to you later. But we do something called the Summer Algebra Institute, and it really is for students 6th grade and up. But we're able to offer it to some of our younger students as well. And the confidence that two of them got from going to the Clippers tournament, they came excited. Yeah, I want to do Algebra Institute, and they're only in 5th grade. But they're here, they chose this summer to come and do the Algebra Institute, knowing that in the afternoon they can start learning the MLB. But the confidence that it gave them, and when I talked to them, they said, oh yeah, it's helping us with our math facts, and testing was easier because we had practiced our math facts. And so it is impacting their scores like that. And one of the great things about the Algebra Institute is it's put on by the CSU system. And so there is a pre and a post test that shows their growth over the summer for those younger students. And so I'd be happy to share some of that with you later after their post test, so we can see like how did those 5th grade students that were also in our MBA math hoops, how did they compare? Like, did they show growth in the Algebra Institute? So it's not just the math hoops, but it gave them the confidence to try something that older kids are doing, not necessarily their grade level. And they said yes to that. And for them to be here in the summer instead of sitting at home on the computer, and they're here to do math, like that's a big deal. And it changes them. And one of the students in particular, he was like, it just makes math so fun. So for me, one of my favorite moments I had in looking at your questions, there were 2 moments that really stood out to me. And one of them is just that I had 2 students apply for the New York trip, 2 students do the video, which making the videos was so memorable and fun anyways. And when we're performing arts, we have fun doing that kind of thing. And so there were 2 girls that worked really hard, and they were best friends. So when I got the announcement that one of them was going, and only one of them, I became a little nervous about the other one. And how was this going to go over? So I chose to pull out the student who was not going. I pulled her out of class and told her, and her reaction was not sadness at all. She was so excited for her friend, and just like, can I help you plan how we're going to announce it to her? Can I plan the party to tell her? And so for me to see that overwhelming joy for her friend and no concern about herself at all. So her and I together, we planned it. We got balloons. We had the whole program together to make the big announcement. And when we announced that Hannah was going, Hannah walks over almost in tears and she says, but what about Kyra? So her reaction was just concern about her friend. She went like, it was just such an amazing, heartwarming experience for me. And I'm so excited that our school was able, I do a lot of fundraising throughout the year for travel for these kids. And so we were able to also take Kyra to New York. So Kyra will be going. And I know the logistics are a little bit rough. Like we can't do everything with Hannah, but Kyra will get an amazing experience and be able to cheer on Hannah there. So that's really memorable for me to see that friendship and that love for each other. It wasn't like, yes, I beat everybody. It was like, hey, but what about her? So that was amazing for me.
That's so special. That's amazing.
Yeah. I'll let Mr. Garcia share too.
Yeah. My favorite memories started as when we were figuring out which students we were going to take for the first tournament that we were going to do. And upon that, I was learning like, wow, a lot of my younger students are doing very well, more well than some of the older kids. And I was like, this is incredible. And one of the students who I picked was Dante. And he became one of the students who absolutely loved the game, fully into it, was learning the players, was learning statistics, and he was also just his critical thinking was very clear showing from teaching him. And I was super happy knowing that he's fully enjoying this and he's coming out of his shell more and more the more that he was playing with all of his peers. And then when finally the tournament came, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go. April was able to go. But she kept sending me updates on everything, play-by-play, every moment. And I'm just sitting, or I'm not sitting, I was working here and I was like, all right, Dante, Jasline's team, they're moving on. I was like, yeah. And then she told me that they got really far. And I was like, just super excited because I know he's very good at knowing the game. And my favorite message when she sent me was, you're right, Dante really knows the game. And that was just very heartwarming to hear because, you know, I've been teaching him every day for like, you know, a couple weeks. And it's just knowing that the work that we put in for him has definitely shown when playing in the game.
And I think that a great part for Dante is that, like I said, we're performing arts. So we don't have basketball areas. We don't have a field. There's a whole dirt lot out back, but we can't really play in it. Their playground is in a parking lot. And so we don't have a lot of those areas and we can't offer those team sports. And Dante has been at this school, I think, since kinder. And so he really hasn't taken part on any team. Math hoops was the first time that he was on a team. And he was, I don't want to say completely shy, but kind of on the shyer side. So to see him join that team and to work together, he was so excited. And our kids wear uniforms. And so they came in second place, so they got some swag. And he was like, will this count as uniform? Can I wear this shirt to school? So we said yes, and he has been draped in his Clippers gear ever since. Yeah. Like, he wears the hats every day, the t-shirts all the time. Like, he has become a #1 Clippers fan all overnight. And so I can really tell that he feels part of that team now. And that's a big deal to me, for them to be able to feel part of a team.
Amazing. I really appreciate you sharing that, because that's not a typical scenario. I think a lot of spaces where we do work, a lot of programs, they have sports, and sometimes that can even be the driver for why they want to participate. And so for us to be able to help you all bring this team-based environment to the school is something that I think is really cool and unique. We don't hear that very often.
Oh, it definitely is. And as I sat in the Clippers room and had my team in the final rounds, I could have sworn I was at a real basketball game. My heart was racing the same. The energy was the same. It was definitely an experience for sure. So I'm really glad that we can bring that to the kids here. Well, I think that for us being a charter school, we have some unique challenges that public schools don't face. And transportation is the biggest one. I cannot take kids to go see things because for me to get a bus to take us just a mile to a bowling alley is almost $2,000. So I can have, and I do have, free bowling passes sitting in my backpack that I could take our whole 100 kids to go bowling, but it would cost me $2,000 to do that. And so not being able to take them places to enhance that learning, like we could do a lesson on gravity and go to the bowling alley and practice it. And I think that that's, it's the hands-on stuff, and that's what after school enrichment should be all about. Because if I do a lesson on gravity and they go to the bowling alley and practice gravity with the bowling ball, then when they go to take that test and there's a question about gravity, they're going to remember it, and those test scores are going to go up. And I also, like I said, I've been in the after school world for about 20 years. So being a charter, we're our own district. I don't have any schools to play with. It's just us. But I did come from the school district that surrounds us. Both of us did, actually. So we have a lot of friends that still work in that space around us, but they're not part of our school. So at the Boost conference, I made them all go sign up for Learn Fresh so that we could play together. And they have space, they have gyms, they have fields, and they have buses that they can access that aren't too expensive. But for me, just to go to their school to play against them would be $2,000. And they're just down the street. Like, I think that that is one of the biggest hurdles that I have. Like, even if we had a school van or, some way I could take local trips in smaller groups, anything would help be able to accommodate that. And being after school, I don't have designated space. I share space with teachers. We have modular classes, and we literally operate for 180 kids. I have one shed for space. So we don't have enough things built out for us to be able to have our own space. So if I ask the Lake Elsinore School District kids to come join our school for a tournament because they have access to buses, I don't have a great space to put that many kids. So it's kind of double-edged. Like, how am I going to make that happen? If I have the parents drive the kids there, that'll work. But what about the kids whose parents work? I can't ask them to take time off of work to do that all the time. So space and transportation are probably my biggest issues, because I want to expose these kids to as much as possible. And I think the more exposure they have, the better their test scores, the better they're learning. They're going to understand what they're learning. And I just want to be able to provide that for them. So I think that those are my two biggest challenges, is space and transportation.
It's interesting. I'm curious to see, as I talk to more people in this series, if transportation continues to come up as a consistent issue. I'm expecting it might.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we went to LA, I had to ask the parents to take time off work and take the kids, because it's about a 2-hour drive from Lake Elsinore when we add in the traffic. And there was just no way for us to all get there. And I took a couple of them in my car, and the rest, their parents had to take time off to go. So it's challenging. And I know we've kind of talked as a school about possibly getting an SUV or a van or something, because I drive a little 4-door Nissan and I am constantly packing it with things to go. My trunk is always full of either cups or invention stuff, like
cart of equipment, everything.
Yeah, it does not fit what we need to take. So that is a huge challenge for us.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. Hopefully, if someone in the LA area is listening and has a car, we can, or a van, we can help you out.
Right? I mean, we can put clippers on the side. I don't care. We'll rep.